Alaikum everyone. Welcome to another episode of Safe2Talk. My name is Mustafa and this is my wife Mariam.
Assalamualaikum, everybody.
So we have another topic that we would like to go over with you guys. Obviously she has the juicy ones.
It's another situation.
Yeah.
So, basically, I'll just start it off by reading it. So, this one says, it's a female and she's writing this. So, I've been lurking for a while as I've been in a committed relationship where we live together and two of the younger children live with us part-time. I've been so happy emotionally in this relationship and thought it would be forever. However, a few months ago, I just really realized I don't want to raise anyone else's kids. I'm sad because I feel like love isn't enough. This relationship has taught me I don't have the capacity to be a step parent to their children living at home or to take on someone else's never-ending drama with a very difficult ex and children who likely need regular therapy. I'm a helper and often take on everyone's problems and put myself last. I'm thankful to realize this before it was too late. I'm also thankful for therapy. And I am truly grateful for this relationship and the purpose it has served at a point in my life. It taught me to love again and made me feel seen, even if not forever. My praise and recognition goes out to all of you step parents in the thick of it every day, dealing with drama and bio parents and your own stressors. Hugs to all of you facing challenges. So I feel like this might be hard for you to understand because you've never been in that role. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm pretty much so this is could have been me and then she left.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's good that she realized it early.
Yes, 100%.
Before she
took on that role and then decided to put the kids through yet another divorce.
Yeah. But the thing is, she said about I don't want to raise another woman's child.
No, someone else's kids.
Someone else's kids. I don't know. Like what was the deciding factor of not wanting to be in that relationship? Like what was
I think it could be a lot of different things, right? Like it could just be like, hey, you think you can do this, and then you realize fairly quickly that you can't, or sometimes because again, like they're dating. So they dated for quite a few years. So she kind of knew of his situation and everything. It's not like they were married, right? Not to say that her leaving still won't impact the kids because they're used to her, especially if they're coming over part-time. But honestly, I would say this role is not cut out for everybody.
One thing I honestly cannot stress is the fact that how someone can bring a bunch of other partners in front of the child. That's why I always think if you have a child with someone else and you're sharing custody or whatever the reason, never bring another person into this child's life unless it's
until you're sure.
Unless it's 100% going to lead to a marriage. This lifestyle of people wanted to be with others and just recycling relationship.
This situation is different because they've been together for a long time.
But now she left. So this guy will be with another person, bring this child, and this will bring another woman not into this child life.
He might not, right? He might realize that, hey, maybe I'm going to wait a little bit until my kids are old enough to understand. But the situation, she's just saying, this is how I feel. And I'm going to choose to step away from this role before we get married. And I think that's a very smart thing to do because, like I said, I would prefer if someone decides from the jump that this is not for them, then they continue on and then they find out after we get married and that we have our own kids and now we're a blended family that this is not what they want. Does that make sense? Or like they start mistreating my kids because they're no longer happy with their decision.
Yeah, but they're never going to be streets.
You don't know that. There's an evil stepmom stigma for a
Yeah, but
reason.
where's this guy? This guy is blind to the whole situation.
No, I'm just saying, like, I would much
In my
rather,
situation, nobody would have ever mistreated my kid. Nobody. I would never,
because you were very involved. I get it. Like you were very,
as everyone should, right? Having a child is not a, you know,
it's
a
not
gym
something you take
membership where
lightly.
you just, you get the membership and
Yeah.
you don't care what's gonna happen. No, no, this is your full. Like it's more than just a job. It's your child.
It's your responsibility.
It is responsible.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
also, honestly, I've seen a lot of stepmom messages to
What do you
you.
mean? Oh yeah, they think I'm the evil stepmom. Yeah.
Like,
Everyone,
for those who
like
don't know,
a lot of people message me.
yeah, a lot of people message her and thinking that she's mistreating our daughter. Which to me, honestly, I don't understand how you can take a 10-second, 20-second
Video
video
or a
and
picture
or
and read a
picture
caption
and
and just assume you know the
and
end of the
assume the
dynamic.
whole life. You don't know what this woman has done for my daughter. It's just she did more than what her own biological mother did for her. So we don't need to go into detail for me to know what's going on. It's just that those few seconds clip, how people react. Obviously, it gets to me. Not much to her, but it just bothers me how people.
It used to get to me in the beginning, and then I just learned to grow tough skin and just be unbothered by that, because at the end of the day, this is my reality, and not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will, unless you've been in it, you can't really understand it, period. Right. And then add on to that the fact that everybody just is on high alert because, like I said, that evil stepmom stigma is following all of us step parents.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone is just like, oh, she did this or she did that. Mind you, had I done those same things or posted the same, like I remember there was once where I posted a picture of Aisha and I said, oh, like she's a funny, silly girl. And then so many people came at me because I'm like, I called her silly. They were going off. So I'm like, had I posted the same thing about my son Zaid and said the same thing, people wouldn't come at me with the same energy, right? They would just be like, oh, okay, haha, laugh it off, or whatever the case is. But that's one of the first things that stuck to me. And as much as you do want to reply to those people and explain yourself, you just realize pick your battles.
Yeah, you got to pick your battle. Anyway, I'm not in any social media other than this, and my wife handles it. But that's one of the reasons why I never wanted to get involved. Because
you would respond.
Yeah,
you would respond.
And also, it's some of the people. I'm not even gonna go into detail. Some of them are just too old for this. Like, come on, they're just too old for this. I mean, how do you go?
It's a sensitive topic, guys.
Yeah, it is.
But
it is
to come back to
anyway. Yeah.
The story that sharing was So now let me ask you this question: would you prefer that whoever you are talking to or are considering for marriage is straight up with you, tells you, "Hey, like this is not for me," or would you be offended by that?
The thing is, yes, I want her to be straight up, but at the same time, I will also be challenging her. I'll be challenging her and asking her hard questions regarding raising the child, how you discipline the child. Because you and I talk about it.
Yeah.
And at first, we had a lot of disagreement, but I made sure that you and I are on the same page.
Yes, for the big things.
Yeah, for the big things.
You also, when you first told me that you had it, when I asked you, hey, who's that kid in the picture? And you told me you were expecting me
to run away.
Yeah. Right? Why is that?
Because that's
what your experiences
were. Never. I don't know if I know I never experienced it. I never
Why was that your first?
Because nobody wants to be part of something that's already, if someone sees a split, they don't view that as a positive thing.
Like the failed marriage.
Yeah. So.
Or like the
yeah.
family. I guess you mean.
a lot, and then especially Somali people. And in back in my head, I'm like, oh my God. So if she wants to proceed with the marriage, and then she tells her family that he has another child, my thing was, how are they gonna respond to that?
Yeah.
Somali people are too judgmental. That's why I mean, I was just my mind was going everywhere. So I was ready for you to run away.
Yeah. I feel like again, that could be any of us. Like I could have been in your shoes, just had a failed marriage and just wanting to start fresh, right? So hence why I was never against the whole idea, but I never fully understood it either. So I think I give props to this woman for understanding and realizing that this is going to be a lot on her and she won't be able to fulfill that role to 100%.
Yeah,
I respect that. I truly feel like it takes a lot and you have to be in tune for yourself to even know or feel these things. But it has nothing to do with the kids. It has nothing to do with her partner. It has to do with her and how much of it
yeah,
she
but
can
I
handle.
feel like it's also his fault.
You don't know that.
No,
So,
no, in a sense, I'm talking about in a sense. If she decided not to pursue
not to
and
proceed, yeah.
not to proceed with the marriage or whatever, blended family, he must have. I don't know.
No,
He
again,
maybe he never made her comfortable. I don't know, but
no, because I think
it is best that you decide what you want to do with your life before you before you
100%, 100%.
you
And
embark in this, because then it's
yeah, because I feel like everyone around me was like, oh, like mostly I feel like my friends were like, oh my God, are you sure like you're willing to take on that role? And I was like, well, yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't, because I just always took care of my nieces and nephews. So I kind of felt like I knew what to expect, but I didn't. Like a lot of it was learning more about myself throughout this whole process. And I feel like us being newly married and instantly a family was hard for all of us because him and I can't have the regular fights we would have if it was just him and I. Does that make sense? Like we had to consider the third party every single time, and it wasn't easy. It was a lot,
yeah,
but alhamdulillah,
it was. And also, what I did is that I let you figure out
yeah.
your relationship with her. I did not want to get involved. And every time you used to come to me and say, "Hey, she did this, she did that,"
Or like this happened, like what should I do and stuff like that.
I
Like
I was giving you.
he would just be like, figure it out, like handle it the best way you know how, like handle it. And that helped me a lot because
Because if I get involved,
it also showed me you trust me and that I was doubting myself, but it showed me that you trusted me and my intentions
no, of course, I will never.
and my heart, I guess.
Like I said in the past, I would never be with someone if I wasn't 100% sure. My daughter was already, there was a lot of things that wasn't. I did not want her to. Yeah, she went through a lot. And the last thing I want to do is to bring someone in her life.
That's going to do more damage.
But that was exactly so. Mentally, I was ready.
Not to say that I was perfect. Like
No,
I
you're not
did not
perfect.
know how to be a mom. Honestly, I didn't know.
But alhamdulillah, when I tell you everything worked out smoothly.
Yeah.
The crazy part is that my parents are not here. Her parents are not here. We had no support,
Yeah.
no family support other than, from from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Wallah, alhamdulillah. I can't. Wow.
So it's good. I feel like you have to do a lot of soul searching and figure out if this is for you before you get into it. Ask the hard questions. Give them different scenarios. See if your parenting styles aligns. Like, do your part before you get into it. And there's nothing wrong if you decide this is not for you. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a selfish person. It doesn't mean none of those things. It just means that you're in tune enough with yourself to know that this is hard and you might not be able to handle it the way that you're expected to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's today's topic.
Inshallah, we're trying to be more transparent about the some of the questions we receive
Yeah.
privately. Obviously, some of them do not want to be um they want to stay anonymous. So we'll share our point, inshallah. It may help or may not, but whatever the case might be, just reach out if you want to update us about your
Yeah.
situation. And we'll
And
see.
obviously some of the stories that we are also sharing with you guys are like these stuff shared on the internet and we're just giving our perspective on it. So all we can do is share our perspective and our opinion on the situation. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.